But
I,
hi, everybody.
it's here. We're live now, so we better pretend that
I know
we're live.
it. I know it. I'm like, I know this. I don't know. They always say I move too fast. I'm doing this and that or whatever. But good morning, Dr. Laura Ellick. Thank you so much for being here. I am so excited
I am
that you are here
to be here. First of
because
all, it's a Friday.
I know it. And I'm excited because Sunday we're gonna have so much fun.
Right?
And I just wanted to get you to come on so that the ladies can meet you, so that they can, see exactly what they can look forward to on Sunday, and just to give everybody just an overview of our mirror workshop. Let me move my thing up. Of our mirror workshop and what we talk about. And the people who have been before, they know just how raw we get, but just at first, just give them a little overview about you and what it is that you do and what you specialize in.
Okay, great. So my name is Dr. Laura Ellick. You can call me Laura. You can call me Dr. Laura. Whatever is comfortable for you, I will definitely answer. I'll even answer to "Hey you" sometimes. It depends on. So I am a psychologist. I'm licensed in the states of Florida and New York. I'm also a coach, an author, and a speaker. So I got a lot of balls juggling in the air. I'm also a mom, and I've also been divorced. And so I get all of those issues. And so, my goal is to be with you guys every step of the way as you're going through significant life changes, because we all know that 2020 has been crazy, has
Correct.
been traumatic, and nothing has turned out, I don't think, for anybody the way that they planned on January 1st, 2020. And so we all need to kind of pull together and help each other get back on track.
Absolutely. I mean, I had so many plans for the new year, and all my plans got busted up. I mean, every single one,
That's
you
right.
know. And with our workshop, Dr. Laura, we did What Do You See When You Look in the Mirror here in Atlanta. That was our first workshop that we did when we were 1 years old, way back last year. And we found that that workshop is more geared towards women who suffered some kind of trauma, who feel like they're stuck in their life, who want to be able to get past their fears, who want to be able to take their life to the next level. And one of the biggest things that we found is when we get together as girlfriends and we're talking, we are allowed to see that we're not alone in the same room,
Mm-hmm.
right? We also get to see um, that some of the challenges that we might have in our life, we probably can help somebody else. How important is that when you can be in the room where you're feeling like you're not alone? Does it really help you open up the way you're supposed to? Because a lot of people are afraid to.
I think a lot of people are afraid to because of the Facebook effect, the Instagram effect. We're posting good stuff on our pages. We're posting ourselves in our best light. And I think I've posted on Facebook a couple times. Don't believe the hype, because this is only a moment in time. So
Right.
everybody is seeing you and me right now. You didn't see me 2 hours ago and I just woke up and I didn't have my coffee.
Right.
So the idea is, yeah, everybody is going through something, and knowing that everybody is going through something, I think normalizes the experience. People weren't talking about the pandemic as a trauma until we started talking about the pandemic as a trauma, and the anxiety that went into just going to CVS. Do I
Right.
wear gloves? Do I not wear gloves? Do I wear a mask? This whole thing with kids going back to school, it's traumatic. Do I
Right.
send my kids? Do I not send my kids? People have been angry in a lot of their conversations. And I think if we can just join with each other and recognize everyone's got a challenge, we can help each other in a much better way.
Yeah, but because people don't, we don't know what to do, right?
No,
That's the biggest thing. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to handle everything that's going on. And on top of that, Dr. Laura, we already have issues. You know what I'm saying?
it's
We
just
already have
serving up
issues.
the past trauma, right?
I've been talking to some women who are at home with their abusers, who call the hotline and say, hey, I'm scared to come out the room.
Mhm.
Today is not a good day. You know, any word of encouragement that you can give me will actually help me to at least get through the night. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, girl, the only thing that I can tell you is, make sure you stay calm, make sure you keep your household calm, do whatever you can do to get the kids to bed and to, just ride that night on out. And then maybe, tomorrow it will be something a little bit different. But do whatever you need to do to go ahead and protect yourself.
Right. And I think that's so important. It breaks my heart to hear these stories because what people don't recognize is this is reality. These stories
Mhm.
are going on in our households every single day pre pandemic. And it's just been made worse by the fact that we are in very close quarters together. We have economic instability. There are riots going on. All of those things raise anxiety and anger and can make abusers kind of go over the edge a little bit. So when things have been maybe stable for a while, we're getting to a point now where there's so many stressors where we might have crisis situations, and it breaks my heart to know that there are so many women and their children going through
Right.
this.
Right. And the biggest thing with our group of women here is we want to do better though.
Right.
Right, Dr. Laura, we want to do better. We want to change our environment. We
Right.
don't want to continue to do the same thing that we've been doing. That relationship we're in it right now because of this pandemic. We feel like we can't move, we can't leave, we can't do all these things because, I was a waitress and now I'm not getting paid. The rest of the people are not coming into the restaurants the way they were supposed to. He
Mhm.
makes more money than me. Now I have to stick around,
Right.
right? But I
Mm-hmm.
want more for myself. I don't know what I'm going to do. And these are some of the things that we talk about in this workshop because we're finally looking in the mirror and we're seeing not only that good stuff, but we're also digging into that place where we don't like to go.
Mm-hmm.
Where we're before we hit rock bottom. And some people who come are at rock bottom.
That's right. That's right. We need support and we need love and we need to be able to have other people lift us up during the times when we are scared and isolated and alone. And that's what groups like this do. It's empowering to be with other women because we do a great job of helping each other. Women are resourceful. I have to just tell you, they will find a way. They always find a way.
Absolutely.
And I have so much faith in women helping and lifting each other. And whatever we can do to help people, like that's what we're here for. We're here to help people. When you look in the mirror, I mean, I've had experiences myself being in terrible relationships. When I looked in the mirror, I was like, who is this person? What happened to the person who I thought I was? And
Right.
it's a lot of growth. It's a lot of working through, like you said, the deep, deep stuff and doing it with other people just makes it so much better.
Yeah. And if you could just talk about the biggest thing, because we talk about this all the time, the importance of boundaries.
Hmm.
We as women, we always put ourselves last, Dr. Laura. And I hope, ladies, when you come to the workshop, you will see and figure out the importance of putting yourself first,
That's
right?
right.
But we always put ourselves last because we feel guilty if we do put ourselves first, Dr. Laura. Where
Hmm.
does that come from? And why? It's like generational, international. It doesn't matter what color you are or anything. It's
Mm-mm.
just something that is like programmed for us.
It is so ingrained in our culture that women are the givers, women are the nurturers, women are the helpers. And yes, we are to some extent, but I think it does a disservice to women, number one, and also does a disservice to men, because there really are good men out there who are good as parents, who are good nurturers, who are really good husbands, partners, whatever. So I think we need to rewrite the script a little bit, because both sides are getting cheated. I personally, as a woman, have my opinion about how women get cheated a lot more. But
Mhm.
the idea is that, yeah, there's guilt. There's always somebody who's ready to put guilt on you, like, well, we didn't do it that way when we were growing up. All moms stayed home, or and that kind of stuff is destructive,
Right.
because times now, they're different than 10, 20, 30 years ago. Heck, it's different from a year ago. So what you wanted to do a year ago is probably not what you're doing now.
Right. And the biggest thing is getting past that past, right?
Mm-hmm.
This, I tell the group, if you've been molested, if you've been raped, if you've been assaulted where, you were in an abusive relationship or anything like that, that is the stuff that's holding you back as to why you can't get past what you can't get past right now. That's the reason why your relationship is not in a healthy place and you're trying to figure out why you keep making those mistakes over and over again. Why are you so promiscuous? Why are you out there choosing the wrong person? Because you haven't dealt with that. And clinically, when I say that, I always feel like, okay, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a therapist, so I really can't say, but I've experienced it. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
absolutely. And that's where the boundaries come into place. Kind of what you were saying. Okay, why am I continuing to accept this behavior? And so when we set boundaries, we're putting ourselves first and saying, I'm putting up a wall and saying, I'm not going to let you cross this line. And what you pointed out, something that's just so, so important, is if you have grown up in a household where there were poor boundaries because you were molested, because you were sexually abused, you grow up not knowing what boundaries are,
Right.
because you weren't taught what boundaries are. So what do we tend to do? We do what's comfortable. So we don't know that it's wrong. It's just been comfortable for us. Or we may know, other households aren't like this. There's something a little bit off, but I can't explain it. And I've just always done it, so it must be okay. So doing the new thing creates a lot of discomfort. And sometimes people have a hard time pushing through that discomfort, setting a boundary and getting the resistance from somebody else. That's
Right.
tough.
That it really is, because that's where the change happens, and that's where most of us fall short.
Right.
Right? Where we know, once we become aware, hey, look, I looked in the mirror, I saw that situation between me and my mom as to why we can't get along is because I discovered in a workshop I can't stand her. And the
Hmm.
reason why I can't stand her is because I have not forgiven her. Because when I told her I was being molested, when I told her I was raped, when I told her and came to her and told her all the things that was happening to me or what she was doing to me, she brushed me off.
Hmm.
Right.
So
And
what is
now,
that?
go ahead.
What you learn from that? You learn that people won't take care of you.
That's
So
right.
why even bother? If no one else is going to take care of you, how can you learn how to take care of yourself? Right?
Right.
We look to our parents as the first role models for self care, right? And
Mm-hmm.
if your own parent seemingly doesn't care enough to take care of you, the thought process is often, well, then it must be something with me. I must be damaged, or I'm not worthy. And that is so, so not true. It's old programming that needs to go.
And what happens when that cycle is repeated, when you find yourself doing that or doing those things with your kids,
Hmm.
right?
You're doing what you know. You're doing what you know. And then there's the additional guilt of repeating the pattern. But You can break that pattern at any time. And what I tell everybody is, look, when you start changing, don't expect that all the people in your world are going to jump on a chair and applaud for you, because your changing is going to be uncomfortable for them, because you're changing the rules of your relationship and you're not accepting the bad stuff you would accept before.
Right. You're becoming a different person. That person that they like is not there anymore.
Nope.
You know, the person that they wanted to hang out with and smoke weed with and be promiscuous with and go to the club with and do all this stuff with, you kind of woke up and was like, well, I really don't want to do that anymore. I want to put my life in a different direction.
Mhm.
And you feel guilty about that too, right?
Mhm.
Because you're like, well, I don't want them to start to judge me or think that I'm trying to be better than them. I'm just trying to,
Mhm.
go in a different direction with my life. But then you find out, Dr. Laura, it becomes lonely because you get to see really how much of your life, the span of your life, that you have been living in this thing,
That's
right?
right.
And when you start to change and you throw up boundaries and you find out you have to get rid of everyone.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's why change within one of these groups is valuable, because you got people who you know are going through the same thing and who will definitely support you and build you up, because you will lose people.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was the point that I was trying to bring up because, and I would say to you ladies, when you start this journey, that's why I told you, I don't want nobody to sign up for this workshop who is not ready to do the work. And let me tell you why. The reason is once you become aware of who you are and you're ready to go ahead and take that journey and
Mhm.
set those boundaries, it is a process, and that process is very difficult. Let me tell you why. Because everyone around you is your old self,
Mhm. That's right.
right?
That's right.
Is your old self. And that old self you're saying bye to, you're dying to,
Mhm.
right? And you're bringing out this new person who is trying to live this life. It is so easy to go back to what's comfortable, which is what I want you to talk about too,
Right.
because you feel like you're more loved over there, right? That's
Mhm.
something that you built.
Mhm. Right, right. And so saying goodbye to that old identity means, again, ruffling some feathers. You're going to have people. This is kind of like when you start changing like this is your most vulnerable time, because you know you want to change. You know there are good things coming, but you have like your people in the past who are sort of pulling at you and kind of saying, well, who am I going to go out with now if you're not drinking anymore? Or, so you're going to leave me alone so you can go out now with your group friends, or
Right.
whatever it is, right?
Right. That's exactly right.
So
That's
people
exactly
are not
right.
gonna be happy about that, and you're at a vulnerable point, because it's like, you know, you want to change, but ooh, maybe what they're saying is right. Maybe I'm not all that, or maybe I shouldn't change. And
Right.
that's why doing it within a group is so important, because you'll have your women, no, 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 you're coming with us. It's group time, come on, like, yeah.
Uh-huh. Because I went through that. I surely did. I went through that. I had a group of women I was hanging out with, and I just cut the phone off and I disconnected the phone and I just stopped
Mhm,
because I was like, I just can't do this anymore.
mhm,
And can I tell you, they found me on social media, they found me on, different places.
mhm,
And it was just like, what happened to you? And you were such a fraud and all this
mhm,
stuff. And I just can't believe that you started this relationship
mhm,
and you didn't even say goodbye. You just cut us off.
mhm,
I wasn't even using my real name, Dr. Laura.
mhm.
I was somebody else,
There you
right?
go. Mhm,
And they were like, you lied about who you were and your name. And
mhm,
how could I say I was so hurt? I was in a position where I didn't want you to know who I really was.
Mhm.
I
Right.
wanted to be someone else
Mhm.
because that person I wanted to be was that rebel who
Mhm.
didn't give a shit about anything,
Right.
who was out there, who was basically doing them,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, that was the hurt me
Mhm.
that was coming out that the people who really knew me saw,
Right.
right?
Right.
And I just took it to the next level where I came up with a name, Dr. Laura. I came up with all this stuff because I felt like if you really knew the real me,
Mhm.
then I wouldn't be able to get rid of you. Like, I would
Mhm.
start to feel like, oh man, this person is actually nice and I really
Mhm.
don't, but I separated that,
Yep.
right? It
Mhm.
was wrong because I took advantage of people, right?
Mhm.
But I did it because that's what I wanted to do.
Mhm. And it was
And it
protected for you.
and it was protecting me
Mhm.
because I didn't want them to see the real me or know the real me,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. 'Cause that's a
But
threat.
when I correct, because when I woke up and I saw that, I'm like, look what you did,
Mhm.
right? Look what you
Mhm.
did. You have went out, made all these friends, a
Mhm.
lot, Dr.
Mhm.
Laura, like a lot, who don't really know you, don't even know
Mhm.
your name. And then
Mhm.
when I would bring my real friends around, they would call my real name. They'd be like, "Hey, Gloria," and I'm looking at them like, "Hey."
That's why
That's
people
why
can call me, "Hey, you." I'm fine with that. "Hey, you" is great.
and that's when I used to say, like, y'all, like, and they'll sit up there. That's why I'm like, that's why I don't bring y'all around. That's why I don't bring y'all around because you calling the wrong name and all that stuff. And they're like, my friends was like, well, I can't really get with all of this of whatever it is that you're doing,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And they didn't tell. They allowed me to be me. But at the same time, the more I started doing my work and looking in
Mhm.
the mirror, I knew that I was not doing the right thing. And
Right.
so I just cut it off. And I
Mhm.
got the backlash for it. But at the same time, that's when the healing started.
Right. Right. And like you said, it's a process. So for you, how long was that process?
It
It might
was a
still
long
be going
time,
on.
maybe
Yeah.
like 6 years, 5 years,
Uh-huh. I
six,
think
five
I
years.
think that's reasonable. That's
Mhm.
what I think we all go through. We go through change. Why would we not go through change? Right? Change is
Right.
a constant. People think there's stability. There's not really that much stability in our lives. We're always going through different phases and we're always in process. And I think if
Hmm.
somebody, looks in the mirror and says, "It's an end point, I'm done."
Right.
No, they're definitely not done. So
Right.
I hope that everybody in this group is going to continue working on themselves forever.
Absolutely. Because it's a lifelong journey. And the biggest thing you have to do is learn how to forgive yourself for
Oh,
anything,
first. Oh, that's first. Yeah.
is
Mhm.
forgive yourself. Because I had to forgive myself because I was sitting there and I'm like, and I think I posted a little bit of my Instagram. I'm wearing wigs. I'm out. I'm doing all this stuff, right? And I'm just like, I felt bad for so long. Where it's like, Gloria, you know what? You could bounce back. It's time for you to forgive yourself. That was a part of your life that you thought you were doing the right thing,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Right.
And now you're on this new journey. Yes, some things will come up every now and again. You'll have like my family members, or if one of them find me, they'll be on
Mhm.
my Facebook or Instagram, and they'll be like, "Oh, is this what you're doing now? You're actually, helping women. Well, nobody really knows who you are." I'm like, see, that's the thing about forgiving yourself because you can come out and you can talk about it and you are okay with it, because no one else can come and tell your story like you. Can you talk about the importance of forgiveness?
Oh my gosh. I mean, forgiveness is probably three-quarters of the battle. Is and I got to tell you, I've worked in some really rough places. I've worked in prisons. I've worked with attempted
Mm,
murderers. I've worked with people who have done under the influence of drugs and alcohol, things that I'm sure you know of, but and maybe some people out there have done them even. And sitting with that person and having them tell me their story and having me not flinch. Everybody told me that that was one of the things that helped them forgive themselves, is saying it out loud, hearing the story repeated back to them, and hearing some understanding of, well, of course you had to do it this way. You had
right.
no money at home. Your parents were both on drugs. Of course you had to, steal bread from your best friend's house so that you could eat. Right. And so telling the story, I think, is really the first step towards forgiveness. And that's why doing it in a really safe place with a therapist, with a professional, with a group of people that you trust, people who you know are going to say, yep, that's not the person who you are. That's a behavior that you had to do to survive.
Right.
That has nothing to do with who you are as a person. Hearing that story validated, I think, makes it so much easier for you to forgive yourself as well.
Right. And when you ladies actually come on Sunday, you will see the environment. It's a safe environment, and we talk. We give each other the opportunity to have that space, which is so important,
It's a good
because
zone.
yeah, and you finally get to feel like you're breathing, like you're in a place where I can finally let this out that's been in me for a very long time, and I feel like I'm not being judged, and I feel like I won't be attacked either, because that's big. When you think, even when you're talking to like a best friend, you
Mhm.
still don't tell the whole story because you feel like, you know, somebody else actually knows your business. You feel very uncomfortable,
Mhm.
right?
And that's, of course, a trust issue, and if you've been through trauma, of course you're not gonna trust. So this is the
Right.
hardest thing in the world to do, is to be vulnerable. But I also think, Gloria, going back to your point from way before, is telling your story and having people listen. That's
Hmm.
like that's the first step, because we talk about, like, okay, so you were molested, there was incest, you told your parents, and nobody ever did anything. She just
Right.
brushed it off. So we're talking about, we're going to hear you. Everybody is going to hear you and listen to you tell your story. And you know what? We're there to believe you, and we're there
Hmm.
to help you and
Yeah.
validate for you.
Right. And,
It's
and and I tell them nothing is off the table. Nothing
nothing is
is
off.
off the table. We have dealt with so many things. We had one woman who said, my mom tried to kill me my whole life and
Mhm.
nobody believed me. Right. And we were like, we believe you,
Mhm.
And when she went into the story, it was just like, okay, you know, now that you're older and
Mhm.
you kind of, can look at both sides of the story, where what we got to understand that the people who was raising us felt like they were doing the best they could,
Mhm.
right? We have to see that their mental health wasn't in order,
Right. Right. And I think
right?
we also have to mourn the fact that maybe we
Mhm.
didn't get the parents that we deserved, or we
Mhm.
didn't get the early life that we deserved. But that doesn't mean you don't deserve it now and you can't create it now.
Correct.
Right? You're not
Absolutely.
stuck. As you said, the past is in the past. That's your story, but it doesn't have to be your present and your future. It's something that influenced you, obviously, but it doesn't have to define you.
That's right. And you can go ahead and manage it to a point where you can live the life you want to live.
Mhm.
because I can't stress that enough.
Mhm.
And I will say this to you ladies again. Those things that you think are holding you back are not the things outside of you. I don't have any money. I don't have a good job. I don't have the man I want. I don't have, the relationship with the family that I want. All of that comes back to you.
Mhm.
You shape the kind of life that you want,
Want. Right.
right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
You
everybody has the power to do that.
Everybody has the power to do that. The big question is how, and if you are willing to take the journey, to take the action to do it. That's it. Because
Mhm.
it took me 41 years to get to this point. To
Mhm.
change that, I'm
Mhm.
not going to change that in a 2 hour session, right?
Right.
It's going to take some years and practice to get there, but you
Mhm.
will get there, right?
Mhm. Mhm. And you don't have to wait to live your life until you get there. Part
Thank you.
part of living your
Please.
life is the process of getting there. If you're waiting for the end point, don't. You don't, because you're putting your life on hold. You can take
Right.
steps now to live the life that you're dreaming of. Now, baby steps. Because a
Oh,
hundred baby steps totally adds up. You know, one second, 10 seconds, 1 minute of positive. At the end of the day, if you've done 1 minute 10 times, you have 10 positive minutes that you've put together that maybe in days before you haven't been able to do. Everything
wow.
is a chance for growth.
Wow. That was good, Dr. Laura. I can't wait for Sunday.
Oh, this
I
is
can't
great.
wait.
Exciting
I am so
change.
excited. I tell you, ladies, make sure you go ahead and get your tickets. And let me just stress this because I'm not looking for numbers. I'm looking for those who are ready to change. You
Mhm.
will have to be able to share your story. You can listen, but if you're there just to listen and not participate, don't get a ticket. Only
Mhm.
because I want you to be able to walk away with something, right? I don't want you to say, oh, yeah, I walked away. I heard some great stories and everything, but I was just afraid to talk about my stuff. No, you know, if you're coming, you're going to share and you're in a position where you're going to start that journey. Now, it's not pushing you to go ahead and make a decision. But what I'm asking you to do is when you come, be ready to look at yourself in the mirror.
Mhm.
Be ready to see some of those things that you're confused about. Like, why do I keep doing the same thing I keep doing?
Mhm.
Why am I so fearful? Why can't I just move and do? Why I'm so scared to take that leap? I just don't know why. Why am
Mhm.
I so angry? Why do I feel depressed? Why do I feel like I can't move my life to the next level? Why am I so mean to my kids? All those things that you keep asking, that those things that I tell you that keep gnawing and gnawing and gnawing at you, come and get it out.
Mhm.
We have Dr. Laura here to kind of help you unpack that. When
Mhm.
you say, I don't know these feelings I'm feeling, Dr. Laura, the only thing I know is that I feel sad and I'm angry, even though I think everything on my life looks good on the outside.
Mhm.
I have a great job, I'm making money, I'm taking care of my kids, but I'm sad all the time.
Mhm. Mhm.
And you don't know why,
Then this is the
right?
place for you to be.
Absolutely. Because once you get a little bit of awareness as to why, even a little short small piece of awareness will catapult you to somewhere that is amazing. Because you know why? You get to see the other side of the coin, right, Dr. Laura? You get to see, like, damn, is that it? Is that the reason why? Because really, what my mom, said to me, where she called me dumb my whole life.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I just feel that way. That's why I believe I can't go after the job I want. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying?
When you open that door to insight and you have an aha moment, you can't ever close that door again. You can't go backwards.
Sure can. Never.
Right.
And
So,
so those are the things that we're going to do on
and
Sunday.
if you come and you speak for 30 seconds and you've never talked to anybody before and you speak for 30 seconds, that's 30 seconds more than you've ever done in your entire life. And you can't close that door. So
Wow.
even if you can commit to coming and speaking for 30 seconds, even if you've never been a speaker or, you never shared your story, think of something you want to say for 30 seconds because now your door is open.
Absolutely. Dr. Laura, let everybody know how they can follow you, your social media and your website and everything.
Awesome. So you guys can follow me on Instagram at Dr.Laura on Instagram, and you can reach out to me on my website, www.lauraellick.com. And please reach out to me, send me messages. I love hearing from you guys, and I want to know what's going on and how best we can help you on Sunday.
Absolutely.
That's going to
Dr.
be
Laura, yes, Dr. Laura, I can't wait. Sunday is going to be amazing. This is going to be your first time in our workshop, and I'm telling you, when you hear is I mean, just the impact of the women and the lives. I just think that not only are their lives going to be changed, but our lives are going to be changed because we always learn something new, you know.
and we're doing it.
So absolutely. So thank you so much for being here. Ladies, get your tickets. I'm going to put the link at the bottom and I'll see you guys on Sunday. Dr. Laura, thank you so much.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. Peace out.